In his new book, peace activist Dr. Michael Knox discusses what a society that celebrates peacemaking over war might actually look like and how to change our cultural mindset in his new book, Ending U.S. Wars by Honoring Americans Who Work for Peace.
On the campaign trail, Joe Biden, he committed himself to ending some forever wars. But recently, he's been in his pledge to bring troops home is now qualifying it, saying that he might keep members of the U.S. military forces in Afghanistan and Iraq for the foreseeable future. So here to discuss is the Professor Emeritus at the University of South Florida, psychologist and author, Dr. Michael Knox. He joins us now to discuss all of this. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Lay out the argument a little bit from your book, and also give us a reaction and what you think about the Biden administration's seeming signaling that they're going to be staying in Afghanistan and Iraq for the very, very foreseeable future.
Well, of course, that's very disappointing. Afghanistan, we've been there for 20 years, killing people, killing innocent, defenseless people. I would say that it's a disappointment, but it's to be expected. Joe Biden ended his nomination acceptance speech and his victory speech and his inauguration speech with the words, and may God protect our troops. That Trump had something similar. It was always God bless our great military, and President Obama always would call out the military in any audience when he was speaking and ask them to stand and say they were true American heroes, the best this nation has to offer. And that's part of our culture of war, putting militarism above everything else and continuing these wars. We're killing people in 7 or 8 different countries in Africa and the Middle East right now. That didn't change on day one of Biden's administration, and I don't expect it to change, but I hope that it does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And look, I think a lot of people see that honoring of the U.S. military as a sense of patriotism. And you see people who truly want to serve their country, their fellow countrymen, and ensure peace and stability around the world. So I don't want to knock anyone who is wishing the best for members of our armed services. I have people in my own family who are serving in our military overseas right now. But talk about the broader portrait here of American imperialism, our own posture towards war making, and get into the argument that you make in the book about how to change a cultural mindset so that we look first towards peace and diplomacy.
Well, sir, and I agree with you. We don't want to knock anyone in the military. That is a valuable service. But we have to also speak out and honor the peacekeepers, as well as educators and healthcare providers and farmers and tradespeople and everyone else who contributes to our society. But it always seems like it's preeminence with the military, whether we go to a sporting event or any kind of entertainment or even educational event. It's honoring the soldiers. So in terms of militarism, in my lifetime, the U.S. has invaded 30 countries. These are poor countries. The people have no way of defending themselves against the might of the United States. These countries and their people have not attacked the United States, and we continue to bomb them, killing millions of people since the end of World War II. It used to be, during World War II, there was kind of good versus bad, but now it's very unclear why we are bombing these defenseless countries with no means of defending themselves. So our culture is all about, I think, militarism. That's where we put our money, and that's why we have problems with our environment and civil rights and all of the other issues, healthcare issues that we are confronted with. So in terms of changing our cultural mindset, we need to start honoring the peacemakers, and that's what the book is about. We document what over 200 individuals and organizations in the United States are doing to end war. We hold them up as role models. We say that they need to be honored. We need to recognize their work. We need to document in behaviorally specific terms what they have done for peace. And every year we choose a person from those that we honor and give them the U.S. Peace Prize. We've done this for 12 years to try to elevate the importance of people who have, and hold them up as role models, people who have opposed war and have been very courageous and put themselves on the line for peace.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate you joining us, sir. Just to be clear about Biden's son, he ends the speeches that way because his own son was a vet and he died. But we appreciate your work nonetheless, and I do think it is an important thing to talk about. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Knox.
All right. Very good. Thank you.
A lot more rising for you after this.